Many of us at some point have felt lost in the direction we have taken in our lives, similar to the way Stephen Dobbins describes in his poem Lost. This poem does not have a clear, definitive form in terms of stanza or meter. This lack of form is symbolic to the lack of clarity of those that are lost. This poem is similar to a situation in the epic Dante's Inferno, where Dante finds himself lost in the dark wood, where he must find the right way to salvation. The poem begins with the first two lines. A cry was heard among the trees, not a man's, something deeper. Here we are invited to ask, what is crying? The word deeper meaning something more intense and below the surface, perhaps the soul crying out for direction. One feels small in the vastness that is portrayed in the next lines. The forest extended up one side the mountain and down the other, extending as if the height above the trees is far too high to rise above, as if rising above our own misguided choices is too great. The setting is important here because the forest is often isolated and devoid of humanity. It becomes apparent that there is more than one person in the forest when the speaker states, none wanted to ask what had made the cry. A bird, one wanted to say, although he knew it wasn't a bird. The man was attempting to convince himself that the cry was simply a bird, not wanting to confront what is really making the cry. The way we try to convince ourselves that things will be okay, not wanting to confront our life's mistakes. Symbolisms of life are also found in the following lines. The sun climbed to the mountaintop and slid back down the other side. The definition of climb is to move with effort. As we climb to our success or our purpose in life, we do so with great effort. The act of sliding requires less effort, and our failures can bring us down quickly. The sun sliding down, leaving nothing but darkness. It's a somber feeling that sets in. The black treetops against the sky were like teeth on a saw. This use of metaphor gives us the feeling that the treetops are sharp and unforgiving. It is as if no one could rise above without the infliction of some wounds. It is clear that the speaker is not in the forest themselves, but perhaps looking on from a distance or looking down from the heavens. The use of the word they in the following line, rather than the word we, shows this to be the case. They waited for it to come a second time. It's lost, one said. Each thought of being lost, and all of the years that stretch behind. The word each again shows that there is more than one individual in the forest. The thought of all the years that stretch behind is symbolic of the years that were spent trying to find the right direction in life again. The question is then posed, where had wrong turns been made? One gets a sense that the question is not with respect to whatever cries in the distance. This question has a different answer for each that is in the forest. It awakens the reader to ask themselves this question. Soon the cry came again. Closer now. The period between the two statements allows us to pause and reflect. The cry is heard again, but closer now. The cry is that of the soul, which one is now allowed to be heard from deep within. The cry is now the person, which the soul belongs to. The fact that the cry is now closer indicates that the person is conscious of the wrong turns. This awareness itself is in some way a new clarity. And now, a narration of the poem. A cry was heard among the trees, not a man's, something deeper. The forest extended up one side the mountain and down the other. None wanted to ask what had made the cry. A bird, one wanted to say, although he knew it wasn't a bird. The sun climbed to the mountain top and slid back down the other side. The black treetops against the sky were like teeth on a saw. They waited for it to come a second time. It's lost, one said. Each thought of being lost and all the years that stretched behind. Where had wrong turns been made? Soon the cry came again. Closer now.